On the morning of December 1st, 1948, the body of a man was discovered on Somerton Beach in Glenelg, a suburb of Adelaide, South Australia. At first glance, the scene seemed unremarkable. A man slumped against the seawall, dressed neatly in a suit, with no immediate signs of violence. Yet, as investigators began to unravel the details, it became clear that this case was anything but ordinary. The man's identity was a complete mystery, and the circumstances surrounding his death were bizarre enough to earn it the nickname the Tamam Shud case, named after a cryptic clue found in a hidden pocket of his trousers. Authorities initially found nothing in his pockets, no wallet, identification, or any personal belongings that could hint at his identity. He was wearing a gray suit, a white shirt, and polished shoes, all of which suggested a man of some means or professional status. There was a bus ticket from Adelaide to Henley Beach in his coat pocket, indicating he had traveled locally, but it did not clarify why he had died at the beach. His posture, sitting upright against the seawall with his legs extended, gave the impression that he might have succumbed quietly in the night, rather than suffering a violent struggle. The initial autopsy conducted by Dr. John Burton at the Adelaide Hospital revealed no obvious cause of death. There were no signs of trauma, stabbing, or gunshot wounds. The stomach contained a minimal amount of food, and the heart, lungs, and other organs appeared normal. Toxicology tests at the time were limited, and the results were inconclusive. Some speculation arose that he may have been poisoned, possibly by a rare or fast-acting substance, but no definitive evidence was found. The combination of a seemingly healthy man, an unexplained death, and the absence of identification immediately turned this into one of Australia's most puzzling mysteries. The first major clue came weeks later, when a tiny, rolled-up scrap of paper was discovered in a hidden pocket sewn into the man's trousers. The paper bore the printed words, Tamam Shud, meaning ended or finished in Persian. Astonishingly, the paper had been torn from the last page of a copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of poems by the 11th century Persian mathematician and poet. This cryptic connection hinted at a more complex narrative, one that seemed to involve secrecy, coded messages, and possibly international intrigue. Following the discovery of the Tamam Shud slip, investigators scoured Adelaide for the book from which it had been torn. A local man came forward weeks later, presenting a copy of the Rubaiyat that he had found in the back seat of an abandoned car near Somerton Beach. Inside the book were mysterious codes written in tiny, meticulous handwriting. Additionally, there was a phone number of a woman named Jo Thompson, later known as Jessica Thompson, who lived in the area. When questioned, Thompson claimed to have no knowledge of the deceased man, but her connection to the case added another layer of intrigue. The codes themselves have remained undeciphered for over 7 decades. They appear to be a sequence of letters and symbols that do not correspond to any known language or encryption method. Cryptographers, amateur sleuths, and even intelligence agencies have attempted to crack it, yet the meaning continues to elude experts. Some theories suggest the codes could be a personal shorthand, a secret message, or even espionage-related content, leading some to speculate that the Somerton Man may have been a spy during the early years of the Cold War. Jessica Thompson's involvement remains one of the most intriguing aspects of the case. She was a nurse who lived near the beach and reportedly had a child around the time of the man's death. Some researchers have suggested that she may have been romantically or clandestinely involved with him, although no evidence has ever substantiated these claims. Her reluctance to provide information, combined with the cryptic connection via the Rubaiyat, has fueled speculation about espionage, secret liaisons, or clandestine networks operating in Adelaide in the late 1940s. Adding to the mystery was the Somerton Man's extraordinary physical characteristics. He was described as around 6 feet tall, with well-groomed hair, and a fit, athletic build. His fingerprints did not match any on file, nor did his dental records. In the mid-20th century, Australia maintained comprehensive immigration and census records, yet nothing matched the profile of the deceased. Furthermore, every personal identifier, including labels on his clothing, had been carefully removed, as though he wanted to erase his identity entirely. This meticulous attention to detail has led some experts to argue that he may have been involved in espionage or other secretive activities. Medical examinations conducted decades later revealed other curious anomalies. Some analyses of his tissues suggested unusual digestive or metabolic conditions that were not well understood at the time. Later exhumations allowed for DNA sampling, yet matching it to living relatives proved unsuccessful. The body itself, preserved in an unmarked grave in Adelaide's West Terrace Cemetery, became the focus of renewed scientific interest in the 21st century, with hopes that modern forensic genetics could finally reveal his identity. The possibility of espionage cannot be ignored. The Somerton Man's death coincided with the early Cold War period, a time when intelligence activities in Australia were increasing. Some theorists speculate he may have been a foreign agent, possibly British or European, involved in gathering intelligence in South Australia. His untraceable identity, precise clothing, and mysterious codes all align with characteristics associated with covert operations. However, no official evidence has ever confirmed this theory, and it remains a matter of speculation. Another curious element of the case is the timing and location of the death. Somerton Beach was a public area, but relatively quiet at night. No witnesses reported seeing him the evening prior to his death. Moreover, the lack of struggle or signs of foul play suggested that the man either died naturally or was poisoned in a way that left no marks, a feat consistent with certain toxins that were extremely difficult to detect at the time. Some modern toxicology hypotheses propose that rare alkaloids, possibly derived from exotic plants, could have been involved, yet no samples remain to confirm this. The media coverage at the time also contributed to the mystery's enduring status. Newspapers sensationalized the story, publishing speculative reports about spies, secret codes, and romantic entanglements. Public fascination grew as theories multiplied, each more exotic than the last. The Tamam Shud phrase itself entered Australian cultural consciousness as a symbol of unresolved mystery, and the case has inspired books, documentaries, and podcasts over the decades. Despite advances in forensic science, including the use of mitochondrial DNA and isotopic analysis, the Somerton Man's identity has only recently approached resolution. In 2022 and 2023, reports emerged that genealogical DNA analysis had identified potential relatives, raising hopes that the man could finally be named. The slow march of science, combined with archival research and public interest, may eventually solve one of the 20th century's most enduring enigmas. Yet, even if his name is discovered, many questions — why he died, who wrote the code, and what his connection to Jessica Thompson was — may remain unanswered. The enduring fascination with the Somerton Man lies not only in the mystery of his death, but in the multitude of unanswered questions surrounding his life. His story represents a perfect storm of intrigue: a body discovered under strange circumstances, a cryptic message from a centuries-old poem, potential links to espionage, and a woman whose connection remains ambiguous. The case touches on universal themes of identity, secrecy, and the human desire to know the truth. The Tamam Shud case continues to captivate historians, amateur sleuths, and the general public. It demonstrates the limits of mid-20th century investigative techniques, while also highlighting the power of modern forensic technology. Each new analysis, theory, or discovery adds a layer to the narrative, making it a living mystery that spans generations. In a way, the Somerton Man embodies the ultimate historical enigma, a puzzle with fragments scattered across time, waiting for the right combination of knowledge, technology, and perhaps luck to reveal the full story. In conclusion, the Somerton Man, or the Tamam Shud case, is a testament to the enduring allure of unsolved mysteries. From his anonymous death on an Australian beach to the hidden codes and enigmatic book connections, the case exemplifies a perfect historical riddle, Even after 70 years, the story continues to provoke questions about identity, secrecy, and the unknown. It remains one of the most fascinating unsolved mysteries in history, a reminder that even in the modern age, some truths elude discovery, leaving us with intrigue, speculation, and the haunting words, "Tamam Shud," ended.